My bad. Y'all that don't know this Poematic, so don't know me, that's PoeMoe. If you haven't joined up, sign up at Godspeed.com and HoodX.com. Shout out to my man Blau. I was just kicking the rocking chest style beat. You know what I'm saying? And someone asked me before I got cut off from the last one, how I became awoke. And that's like a long story. It's more of a journey, and that's why I call it Godspeed. You know, I journeyed well in a series of events that led me to be. But the thing is, I never was totally deep in a deep sleep. I was always kind of taking a nap, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I didn't understand. And I'm going to give you a glimpse of how it looked prior to me waking up, which caused me to know that which I already knew was real. I was a goon, you know what I'm saying? And I'm from Chi-Town, which they call Chirac, you know what I'm saying? And back in the days, I was hustling, you know, and due to circumstances and situations, you know, or just not knowing any better. But I started hustling. But I didn't start off hustling, I started off going to school. And I always had this itch in school. That's why I know how children feel when they say they got ADD, like, this some bullshit, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck this got to do with my future? Or what the hell is going to serve me, you know, a purpose in life other than getting a job and working for somebody? And then if I want to be my own, you know, I guess, successful, I go to college. So that's like 4 more years of school. And I'm kind of figuring this shit out just to go apply and try to work for somebody. I'm like, damn, it got to be something bigger than life to this. And I always kind of knew that going through high school. And me trying to go to school, learning about calculus and shit like that, and Christopher Columbus, especially history. I love history because it was something interesting. But I always ask myself in history, like, why the hell do our history start as slaves? You know what I'm saying? These are the cranking mechanisms. You know, I had questions, and I had a lot of questions as a shorty that niggas couldn't answer. It was like Jesus when he questioned the Pharisees or the prophets or whoever fuck the motherfuckers was in the dome, in the Jewish dome, hollow dome. And they ain't had no answer, so they kicked him out. That was me. You know, I asked questions, motherfucker had no answer, he get mad. So, but I'm wondering, like, in school, I'm wondering, like, why I asked a teacher, why history started as African. What the hell was we doing before being slaves? And he, you know, kind of looked at me and shrugged his shoulder and kept talking. You know, he was a cracker. So, you know, plus I had a lot of shit going on around me trying to go to school. So that's what prepared me out of school, the fact that I had so much turmoil and chaos going on around me. That shit, I'm sitting there trying to focus, wasn't adding up to my regular life. So they cause anxiety, which they call ADD or hyper deficit disorder. You know, you can't pay attention because your blood pumping, your reality ain't matching this classroom bullshit. You know, your reality ain't matching 1, 2, 3 ABC. You know what I'm saying? My blood pumping too hard. I'm not the brick man. I'm the pack man. You know, I gotta watch out for the police, stick up man, and the gangbangers. The brick man just gotta watch out for the police, so he breathing heavy. That's the crackers, you know what I'm saying? They ain't got nothing to worry about, meaning they're pampered in life. So from then I went on to selling drugs. No, I tried to get a job at McDonald's. And I got a job at McDonald's, but the problem with that was I kept falling to fucking sleep. I was working so goddamn hard and, you know, it wasn't adding up. But I thought it was adding up, but it wasn't adding up. Then my buddy came to me like, Joe, with a butter knife and some crack, like, Joe, let's do this, $300. That was back when you can get $300 off of 8-ball. So I like, fuck it, you know, whatever that is, let's do it. You mean I can break this shit up and sell it? But then what happened was in my memory bank, I was already bred for that because in 4th grade, I remember them teaching us about crack around the time 1984 or something. I don't even fucking remember. They was advertised like they was advertising the shit. They call it warning the children, but I'm in 4th grade, 3rd grade. Why is you showing me pictures of cracks and volumes? I had no idea they was lining me up for my future because when my buddy came with that butter knife with that same crack I seen in the volume and the money I seen in that little post, that picture they showed me in 3rd grade, it connected. I'm just giving y'all a glimpse of mind programming from my point of perspective. Now, if I wouldn't have never seen the crack in the vial, I would have probably looked at them like, man, what the fuck is that, man? I don't want that. I would have been more disagreeable towards it than familiar to it. You know what I'm saying? And that was through the mind programming in 4th grade when they showing us crack in grade school, and not even grade school, just baby school, you know. So I said, fuck it, I did it. Nothing else was done. But I always knew these rules. It was this thing in my head, nigga, I know you finna golf into this world, and it's finna be wolves. So you gotta be a wolf you gotta be a sheep amongst wolves. And on top of that, I ask you one thing, not to kill nobody. Therefore, if you do make it through, you become a God King, and you go through the hell, the fire. So you had to go through hell to get to heaven, which was my life, selling crack and gang banging to get to this point now. And it was almost like Daniel in the lion's den, you know what I'm saying? And the king Caesar threw Daniel in the arena with the lions. And the lions represents the beast out there in the field. And can you tame the lion and the beast within the inner self? Because if you can contain the inner self, then you can contain them outer niggas. You know what I'm saying? So I contained the inner self. So when Caesar threw me in there with the lions, I started rubbing the lions, and they were sitting there kicking them at me, which was the wolves, thugs, thieves, and killers that Jesus hung around. You know what I'm saying? And I use these religious terms only because it's 89% of the population is Christian, and I'm grew up in the shit myself, so And I was rubbing the lion, meaning I tamed my lower self. I knew how to shoot at a nigga, but I didn't shoot at his head. I shot at his foot. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that, just to let him know I kill your ass. Just get the fuck up off me. You know what I'm saying? So I contained the lion. So they like, damn, the Caesar, like, how the hell? Now Caesar is a white man, J. Edgar Hoover, in the manifestation of the spirit and his sons out here trying to fuck us up. You know what I'm saying? But this the year 2015, 18, J. Edgar Hoover type shit. And he's like, man, how did this motherfucker not die? He's thinking before he move. Evidently, he should have high anxiety. How did he act? You know what I'm saying? How did we not kill him? So basically, he kicked us in the fire. Me, Daniel, and his guys representing me, Blau, my buddies, Sticks, now we in the fire. And somebody came down there and they like, Joe, what the hell? Y'all in the fire? They were scared, but when they kicked him, the soldiers kicked the nigga in the fire. Where he seen us down there in the ring of fire kicking it. And kicking it mean we was in the belly of the beast. We was in Chi-Town. We was in Murderville. We was around bullets, death, chaos, destruction, sadness, misery, pain. And we still was kicking it. Meaning is surviving and with a smile. You know what I'm saying? So that was very interesting. So now, to describe that story in a fast forward version, this is all true that I'm finna say to you. The fact that you think it's a lie is the reason that I woke up. Let me say it one more time. This is all true what I'm finna say to you. And this is to the female who asked me how did I wake up. The fact that it sound untrue is the reason why I woke up. And I'm gonna just break it down like a movie. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there, I'm getting chased by the police. No, we won't want to rewind it a little bit back. So I'm selling this shit, I'm getting bread. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting bread, I'm getting money. And I'm having little incidents while I'm getting this money. So one of the little niggas run up on me, saw who run up on me, which is Killmonger and Black Panther run up on me. And he like, Joe, you can't be out here on this tip. You can't be doing, whatever I'm doing. I'm like, nigga, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? So he go get his buddy. And then he come back and he tried to do something to me. I mollywopped his ass, and his buddy's big ass nigga named Sean kicked me in my mouth. And I seen blood, and I was like, oh, shit. Oh, man, so I'm squaring up with him. My buddy come out, my little cousin come out with a pistol, like, shoot him. So I run up on the car, and I shoot the car, you know what I'm saying? And I'm knowing, like, not to kill this nigga, but I shoot the car. And then he come back, you know what I'm saying? The next day, he had a pistol, and he had it on, yeah. He pulled it out, and he put it to my head. Now, matter of fact, he didn't even do that. This is the beginning of God's body. I seen him with it across the street. He was walking towards me. So I took it upon myself to take off my shirt to let him know I ain't got nothing, run up on him and tell him to pull a trigger. I was searching for death. There was so much misery after a while. You'd be like, man, like Tupac, shit, what else could be? He couldn't pull a trigger. This is the beginning. Now, this nigga known for killing people, blasting them in the chest. He done did this already. We in broad daylight. He started shaking. Now, he got his hand on the 32, he got it pointed at me, and he started shaking. So I'm sitting there wondering, okay, the fuck is he doing? And then he started crying. So now he not like boohooing, but tears coming down his eyes while he got the gun in my head, and he like crying. I'm like, nigga, bitch, pull a trigger. I'm like, nigga, come on, quit playing, get it over with. What's the problem? What you come over here for? And he couldn't do shit. He was just sitting there shaking and tears coming down his ass. So his cousin came and grabbed him, and that was the end of that. And that's when I kind of as I walked back across the street, everybody looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm even thinking, what the fuck was that? Wait, what was I thinking? But why he couldn't pull that trigger? Why was he crying? This shit that's unbelievable. This is the shit that'll wake any motherfucker up. But this is the beginning because I'm still Sahu. I'm still what they call sleep, but I was taking a nap because I was always woke. I was always hearing voices, which was not an actual voice, but a thought in my mind outside of what I was going through at the time. That's when they say, oh, I heard the voice of God. It ain't no damn voice where you hear out like a nigga talking to you. It's like a thought that's flowing to your present reality or thinking and situation. That's the voice of God. So I'm like, man, what the fuck? And God like, what I tell you, just don't kill nobody, and I'm gonna get you through. And I don't know what the fuck, God, like, what he talking about? Like, what do you mean gonna get me through? And then when I mean God is a higher power, the motherfucker that created me. That's what I'm talking about. I don't care who you call him, Yahweh, whatever, the thing that created you. Unless you figure out how you created yourself, then there's a higher power that created you. Or if we are gods, I don't remember. I'm talking to the person that remember who I was. Or who that made me. So, time go on. Another incident happened. Now, it's the gang chief. 4 corner hustlers run up on me. And then these not war stories, but these is just leading into how I woke up. And I don't mean to sound like war stories, but this is the truth and this is reality. You know what I'm saying? When I say God, I mean goon. This is that. And he was a gang chief. So it was me and my buddy, and he had his buddies, and they rolled up on me, on the corner, same type of shit. And he told me, man, what the fuck is you doing? So I had a Desert Eagle on me, you know what I'm saying? And I knew he was in the car with one of his goons, and the other goons was standing outside the car, and I knew I had to think fast. But I knew these brothers would pop me, they heard me. So he was sitting in the car talking crazy, and I just pulled out the pistol and pulled the trigger. That's automatic response. That's when the shadow walker had me. That's when the moment when you in jail and you say, what the fuck was I thinking? But that didn't happen to me. That was supposed to be one of the moments. The trigger got jammed. So I'm like, oh shit. And then that's when I came to my senses. So he pulled off. And I'm like, damn. So I shot again and shot at the car, and it hit the tire. So at that point I was still able to get my point across without hurting nobody, that I'm a goon. This was my protection. It was almost like I had to keep re-upping my status, or Satan trying to send me off. So after that, time go on. And I only say that because the trigger didn't pull. If it would have pulled, I would have shot him in his head. I would have shot the first one and then the second one through his head, and they both been dead. And I caught a triple murder. We wouldn't even be talking now. That's that. Now this is all leading up to me waking up. So time go on, situations happen. I'm leaving a basketball game with my little buddies. I get in somebody else's car. I don't know why I did that. They just had a fight with the GDs. So I'm driving down the street. No, I'm not even driving, I'm in the back seat. And it's a car pull up on the side of us. And then all I look to the left and all I see was guns. It was like 4 guns. And next thing I know, I heard loud like bangs, you know what I'm saying? And I just closed my eyes, you know what I'm saying? And I was thinking like, well, let this be quick, let this be quick. And then something hit me. It felt like a hot brick. And I was cool. And then my buddy on the side of me, my cousin, got shot. He got hit in the knee. And I remind you, I'm in the back seat by the window. They shooting at the window because they think I'm somebody else. I'm hearing all the windows was busted out in the car. Brothers getting hit in front of me. They aiming at me now. Brothers in the front seat getting hit. Brothers on the side of me getting hit. And we run into a house. So we all get out, I'm like shit, we cool. And as you know, I realized I was shot, you know what I'm saying? But like the police officer said, he said, y'all know how you live. The car was riddled with bullets. You got shot at 32 times. Your section had 15 of the bullets and you only got hit once. You see what I'm saying? So now I'm thinking, like, I'm out the hospital and I'm still trying to hustle, you know what I'm saying? And the police run up on us, and I actually got away from the police with a crutch and a bandaged leg with a gun wound. I don't know how the hell I did that, but I was following my buddy, and he lead me to a way. Some type of way I got away. So it's like a lot of shit. So after that, I go out of town. No, before I go out of town, I go out of town. And before I go out of town, I was like, God damn, what the fuck? I keep getting out of shit. There's just a faint voice in my head, like, brother, pay attention. Nigga, pay attention. There's something higher than what you think going on, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm watching brothers fall by the wayside, niggas die, all type of shit. But I'm wondering why not me? But what I realized is, I'm going to fast forward a little bit and jump into the ether with it. What I realized is, if you have a purpose, if you give yourself purpose, then the earth will protect you. If you don't have a purpose and you just out here like just like an animal, wild animals, feeding your appetites, then the earth will let you die randomly like anything else, you know what I'm saying? But when you give yourself a purpose, earth protects you. So anyway, I felt I had a purpose. I just didn't know what the fuck it was. So now I'm still hustling, you know what I'm saying? It's a couple years later, and I used to get my work from this GD. And this was straight killmonger nigga, you know what I'm saying? But the catch was he was riding around selling bricks, listening to Dr. Malachi York. You know, he had a pistol, but he was kicking knowledge. You know, this shit was looking crazy. So as I'm listening to Dr. Malachi York getting my work from him, I'm like, man, who the fuck is that? You know, wait. And it wasn't me, him teaching me. It was the validation of the thoughts I already had in my fucking head. So I'm like, wait a minute. So, you know, shortly after, you know, he laughed. He let me get a couple of tapes or two. I listened to him, and then I started fiending for more. But I'm still hustling, you know what I'm saying? So I got, you know, great distraction came, meaning Smith came in 3 ways, meaning they distracted me. They gave me a court case, and they gave me more money, and they gave me this and that, and I got distracted. So I went out of town. As I went out of town, and I'm just, this ain't like it's just a fast forward version. We time traveling. I went out of town. I went to Kentucky, and now I'm out here trying to quote unquote get my life together, which made shit worse. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand how that worked. First 48, you know. And we in this crack house, and this nigga coming in. He's same shit. I keep going through the same shit, nigga. You can't hustle here. And he go back and he come back with 15 niggas, 10 niggas. I don't know, maybe 15, but 10 niggas. And they like, who said this? Now the first thing I read. I remind you, I had got a glimpse from Dr. Malachi York, and I read the Medu Nexu. Before I left, I seen the book, and I just opened it up looking for more of Dr. Malachi York. I didn't know that it was knowledge in the bookstore. So I went to an African bookstore, and it was knowledge, and I picked up the Medu Nexu while they trying to find Dr. Malachi York. This before I went out of town, and I opened up the book, and it said, be in this world, but not of this world. I said, how can you do that? How can you be in this world, but not of this world? And I kind of felt it, but I couldn't explain it in my mind, so I carried it with me. And I flipped the page to back to underworld, and it kind of said something like, when you in it's 7 levels, and when you in a time of courage, or a time that you should be fearful, show courage. That's how you alter the reality which is itself. And he was telling me about the spirits, and I think that was the 8th spirit, which it was telling me that. So when I got to Kentucky, I had these little images. This shit was connecting to me like goddamn, you know, water or crack with a crackhead. So I'm sitting here thinking about this shit while I'm riding, and I get down there, time go on doing this and that, and I found myself in this crack house, and these 10 niggas coming there about to fight me, and I said, damn, in a time of fear, so courage. Okay, let's see. Here we go. And it's me and my cousin. It's 2 of us and 10 of them. So I got to just swinging on the biggest nigga. He like, who said? I just start fighting and shit. And we fighting. And next thing you know, niggas screaming. And it wasn't us screaming. It was my cousin had somebody on the couch choking the shit out of him. And I'm looking around as the shit breaking up. I'm pushing a nigga up off me. You know what I'm saying? Because I had him in the headlock. And I'm wondering who the fuck is these niggas fighting? Because I don't got a scratch on me. So my cousin let him go. The nigga pulled out a gun. Remind you, it's 10 brothers with a pistol, and it's 2 of us. Now you tell me that won't wake your ass up, and you ain't got a scratch on you. So we start backing out the house, and he started chasing us. And I thought he was gonna kill us, so I just ducked behind the bush, turned around like I got a gun, and chased him. This nigga turned around with the gun and started running. Then he started turning around shooting at me. And the only person seeing it was a hype, which they always let the hypes of the underworld people see this shit, the truth, you know what I'm saying? But after that, I realized it was something totally. I went home and I started looking for more knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I started looking for more of that Medu Nexu, Dr. Malachi York. And I started indulging just a little. And, you know, and then it was an instance that came with great pain when I couldn't see my little mama. So that was the spiral of pain, which was causing the effect that you got to be something more to life than this. And before you know it, I just started indulging myself in knowledge, and basically what it was a reflection of what was already in my mind. Remember, English is a business language, so your mind got plenty holes. There's plenty of expressions that you can't even fathom to express because you have no words to do it. They call that bipolar. Anybody got any questions? Blah, yeah, I see you there. But anyway, like I was saying, it's just random thoughts, you know what I'm saying, based off questions or whatever, rockin' chest style. You know what I'm saying? I see you, Jerica. And anything that come to mind, I just kind of speak on it. But that's how I woke. That's a synopsis of how I woke up, or what you would call waking up But me being particularly different, I was already woke. I just didn't know it. You know what I'm saying? And that's something different. When you come to this earth woke and don't know it, it makes motherfuckers bipolar. You know what I'm saying? It fucks you up when you don't have the right guidance or don't understand the angels or anything around you. I have no type of knowledge, especially brothers out west. You know, New York, the city. It's a lot of brothers in the hood that's woke and don't know it. And that's the deepest pain, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of them brothers turn into goons, demons, because a God going goon, you mean you just blank the shit out your mind. You can't, you going against your own grain, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much how that went. You know, I always was woke. I was just trying to figure out what was this in my head, that these thoughts I was getting, what was they coming from? You know, I couldn't just be on automatic response. I was smart enough to know that all I'm trying to do is get these brothers up off me. I ain't trying to kill them. So I ain't got to shoot them in the head. I can just shoot at them, and the story going to get around that I tried to kill them. You get my gift, until I make it out of this lion's, this fire, you know what I'm saying, this den. And I always had a dream that I was going to be king, you know what I'm saying? So it was like my brothers was around me, was like, I was Joseph, and they was like the brothers, and they was like, nigga, get your ass out of here, nigga, please. This ain't that, that ain't this, you know what I'm saying? And would you say, Blau, if you were not from Chicago, do you think that you would have reached the same conclusions? Oh man, that's a good question. Yeah, I would, but it'd probably been later. It'd probably been a slower pace. It wouldn't probably been so ingrained, because Chicago gonna give your ass raw pain, and that's gonna wake you up. You gonna living in Chicago, you gonna ask yourself, man, it got to be something more to life than this. Just sleep or whatever. Just visiting this motherfucker. You say, what is it about Chicago that makes it different? Okay, Kentucky. It was like, if I was in Kentucky, it would be like, you got a babysitter, but the babysitter leaves soon as she get there. You know what I'm saying? It's like the ideal of the shit is there, but it ain't there. Chicago is like your babysitter right there in your motherfucking face. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, smoking a blunt, talking about get your ass in the other room. You know this motherfucker was right here because you smelled the weed. But Chicago is like, Joe, it's like militant. You know what I'm saying? It ain't none of that feminine shit going on. Man is man. That's why the rappers sound like they do. They sound more militant. You know what I'm saying? Even the females are almost militant. You know what I'm saying? Chicago was like, ain't no games. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to believe. These motherfuckers don't believe in shit. So, you know what I'm saying? It ain't no, really, you can get back here, you can get back anywhere. You know, if I was in another state, if I just cooked, I'm going to put it like this, Blau, it would have handicapped me being in another state, because if I would have kicked a little knowledge, they would have had me feeling like I was a god and a king, and I probably would have stopped evolving there, because I would have thought I've arrived. Versus Chicago, you always got to fucking prove yourself, which will always cause me to go back to the books to make sure my shit correct, and then keep going, because they not letting up off your ass with the Joseph had a dream. You know what I'm saying? The Chicago brothers were surrounded by, he's Joseph, and he's surrounded by brothers who tell him, man, get your ass out of here. You know what I'm saying? Throw his ass in the well, which represents the state of darkness. You know what I'm saying? And he still held on to his dream in that state of darkness, meaning in that rail till the Good Samaritan came by. And in Chicago, the Good Samaritan was that GD ass nigga with them bricks that had that Malcolm X CD, you know what I mean, that Dr. Malachi York CD. So that's how I look. He rolled past and he seen me in the well in the darkness, and he picked me up out the darkness and he put me on a car. Back in the biblical times, he put Joseph on a motherfucking horse and he rode him into town. And that's how he rode me into town, you know what I'm saying? And I came back a God king. And all my brothers thinking they gonna see somebody else, but they see me. And when they see me, they don't understand. So it's the same effect as Joseph in the Bible. They look like, damn, you king, even though they looked at him and he had the crown and everything, they still couldn't believe it. It's like, damn, nigga, you talking like this? I never knew you was paying attention in school. Wait a minute, nigga, how you sound? Because last time I seen you, you was shooting at a nigga selling crack. Now, what the fuck? How is this coming out your mouth? And it's only a witness for them, for me to still have on the 150 hat, the $700 pants at the time with the Jordans, and talk about God. You see what I'm saying? Because God, like, nigga, if you had the bow tie on, they wouldn't listen to you. If you had the Bible in your hand, they ain't gonna listen to you. They just gonna say some shit like, oh, nigga, you trying to get your life together. But nigga, you sitting out here smoking blunts talking about God, and you know what the fuck you talking about? Oh, shit. That's shocking. That's shocking. Imagine a little badass nigga you know, and the next time you see him, he got ill knowledge. You know God is real. You got to. It ain't no other nothing. This shit ain't supposed to be coming out of my mouth. That's how I look to him. But I'm only an example. I'm only an example of a future that's to come. I'm only a prototype. You know what I'm saying? I'm only the beginning of a prototype, or the beginning of a new people of us. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a test run, and I know once I choose. Well, once you wake, you can't go to sleep. So, but once I choose to say I'm done, and I'm done, I'm gonna leave this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But right now, I'm protected by the earth. So we're gonna do a fast forward course, and remember, these just random thoughts and answering questions. So I'm sitting here, and I know Blau know this story, and it's a queen who can read. She's a seer. She can read people. You know, when the queens know who I'm talking about. We call them Storm. And when she at this party, and she reading people, you know what I'm saying? And she walking around, catwalking around me, meaning catwalking is when a female walk around you, you know, walk around your presence, but not really fucking with you, but you can still feel her walking everywhere, to where your attention is directed towards her and not what you're supposed to be doing. She was catwalk. So I'm sitting here. She said, "Can I read you?" I said, "Sure." You know what I'm saying? She started to attempt to read me, but first she asked, "What do I do?" And I said, "Oh, I got a website. You know, I be building, you know, talking about knowledge, wisdom, you know, shit like that, understanding." She's like, wait, what? I said, "Yeah." And she said, well, she sat down, and she said, "Damn." And she said, "Man, let me just tell you, this is why I keep hearing this voice in my head saying, this is my son." Now, y'all gotta remember, I never been read before. And she kept saying, "Wait a minute." So she tried to read me, and she was talking. She said, she started talking about my wife. She started talking about this, and I'm like, look, read me. Don't tell me about that. Read me. Who the fuck? What do you see? And then what was turned out happening is that she was trying to hide the fact that she kept hearing this voice in her head saying, "This is my son. This is my motherfucking son." She trying to block this out. I'm not knowing this and none of this time that she trying to block this voice out of her head and trying to give me a formal reading. But this God is coming through like, "No, bitch, this my nigga. This my shorty." And next you know, she started rocking back and forth. Now remember, she trying to talk, but she keeps shaking. And she's rocking back and forth, and she trying to talk, then she started crying. And that's when spirit took over. That's how I know this shit real, because God came through in the middle of a party around a bunch of goons, Delilahs, and hood motherfuckers, and Jezebels. I'm talking about this shit wasn't supposed to be going on. And she's sitting here with her man here crying in front of me, prostrating, rocking back and forth, talking about, "This is my son," saying, "I'm sorry, I don't mean to shake and be like this, but this is my son." And then she said, "Where have you been? What happened to you? What have they done to you?" And what she was referring to me was a great mother spirit I said was looking for me, Horus. She was coming to look for her son Horus. This is in the time of Aquarius, and she had to find Horus, and they've been looking for Horus, and they said Horus was in the hood. They thought Horus was in church. They thought Horus was in the so Horus was in the motherfucking hood. He was in there with the thugs, thieves, killers. You know what I'm saying? Murders. He was in the hood. So she found me, and she said, "Joe, what happened to you?" Because she knew me when I was pure and innocent. I was shining, and she seen the kinks in my armor. Basically, she said I have been to war. She seen her son have been to war, and she said, "No more. This is the end of this shit. No more." Basically meaning is the war is over. I found you. I got your back. And what added on is, brothers, pray to God the Father. The Father gonna give you what you need, but the mother gonna give you what you want. And that's what they do with Christianity. They got you praying to the Father. So the Father gonna give you food, water, shelter, protection. That's it. That's all you ask for. You say, "God, can I?" Nah. You praying for Alexis, you need to go talk to your mama. Great Mother Earth, can I get Alexis? Great Mother Earth, can I get that crib? That's who you pray to. And that's why the Catholic Church is so wealthy, because they pray to Mary. So you see the difference. The black people pray to God the Father, and we got what we need. We just, greedy. And the white people pray to Mary. They got what they want, but they don't got what they need. You see what I'm saying? And what they need is God, the Father, the essence, the Spirit, but they just got what they want, which is Mary, the riches of the earth. So I pray to both of them. And I didn't know my mama was looking for me. Imagine that. She said, "You know what I'm talking about? All I can do was put my head down," because I knew what she was talking about. And it was embarrassing, not because of the fact of what she was saying, but her boyfriend was over there sweating, scratching his head like, "What the fuck is going on with my wife or girlfriend?" And it just odd. You got niggas with bottles in their hands standing there looking, smoking weed, and she's sitting here crying, talking about, "You my son. This is my son." This is the shit I go through, believe it or not. Like, I'm in a motherfucking club, right? And I'm with my lady, and I'm standing on one side with my lady, with my wife. At the time, she was my lady, but my wife, and the motherfuckers was on the other side. A whole bunch of females, And he come walking over there by my wife while I'm kind of standing there, but not really next to her, but standing there. And he started like, "Hey, girl," woo. And I'm like, "Hold on, homie, hold up, wait. We got this. Don't look right. This is what I'm saying under the God body." Now remember, I don't got liquor in there. I got a cup of water with a lemon. This is already looking crazy. This is how I get down in here, you know. So, and I'm only in here because I'm trying to do some shit. You know what I'm saying? Really, I'm falling asleep. So I said, "Partner," I said, "Why you trying to talk to my lady, Joe, when you got a room full of females over there? It's like 12 females over there at the table. Have you ever thought about it? Why is you over here? Don't have that, you know, what's the problem?" He like, wait, hold on, homie. What? I said, "Look, man, you got me standing here next to her. So what's the chances 9 times that I'm with her and you got a room over there, a table full of females? Why is you over here?" You know what this nigga said? He said, "Oh my God, damn, man, nothing but the devil. Man, you know the devil ruthless, man. Man, just trying to," and all that shit. And I'm thinking like, damn, so you mean tell me we in the club talking about God now? But you see how the God body effect, you know. So I go to somewhere, look, get together, and this is another week. And I'm sitting there chilling, and the dude come walk. He said, "Excuse me, lady, can I holler at your husband real quick?" Because he wanted to sit next to him. She said, "Yeah." So she, you know, moved over, let him sit next to him. He said, "Hey, Joe, I just want to let you know, man, I appreciate you." And I don't even know this nigga. He don't know I build or nothing. He said, "Man, if it weren't for the look in your eye, I was finna stab that nigga in his neck." Now you gotta imagine me just sitting here, not knowing none of this going on. And I'm like, wait, what? You know what I'm saying? Who, why, when? What the hell is you talking about? But just the glow of the God body, just like the last dragon, I had that glow, or that whatever that, you know, you know what I'm talking about. And that nigga saying the look, that when he looked at me some type of way, the energy in my soul and my spirit told him, "Nigga, calm your ass down, it ain't worth it." Now you gotta imagine this is what I'm going through without even knowing I'm going through it. That's the energy dynamic of God body. These just random thoughts. Y'all got a partner body. I talk like this because this how brothers from Chi-Town talk. I talk like this because my mind is moving faster than my mouth can spit this out. And believe me, cuss words, just go back to Buy Me, Hear Me. It's just a feeling. It's just the punchline. You know what I'm saying? Don't get too self-religious. When you get to my level, all bad work for the good. Smith become your uncle with tough love. Set become your uncle. The devil, as they call him, become your uncle. Like, nigga, I'm gonna give you tough love since you hard-headed. You know what I'm saying? That shit, you master that, you know. I mastered that. And when I talk about intergalactical, which is the aspect of extraterrestrial beings, and intergalactical talk is meaning is I'm taking your mind to a place off this earth so I can give yourself a reference for shit that you can't really explain. You know, we know white people up close ain't that smart. But how the hell is they running this world? See what I'm saying? That's like, wait a minute, it gotta be something controlling them. It gotta be some fucking aliens. I mean, they're not natural to the earth. You know what I'm saying? Natural to the earth, you know, it's like you absorb the sun. But if you deflect the sun, you're not really natural to the earth. You know what I'm saying? How's that possible? They have no rhythm. Everybody on earth got rhythm, the rhythm of the earth. But if I can't dance, then that means something is genetically made and presented to me as my punishment for being ignorant for back in the days. Remember Black Panther? We was fighting each other. And you know how the conflict, we just gonna sit back and let the world die, and the brother, you know, that's what we had going on. And because of that type of shit we was doing to each other, brought forth an outside enemy. That's like, nigga, we gonna teach y'all about killing each other, basically. But yeah, you know, anybody got any more questions? But these just random thoughts, you know what I'm saying? It's just a glimpse into my mind and time. And, you know, I know under the intergalactical files, they're using a new weapon, which is called Peter Pan, as me and Blau call it. The Peter Pan files is basically when they turn people into youngsters, mentally youngsters. You know, and that's their new weapon, is to dematerialize people. And if you can dematerialize people, which you can see in practice on a black man and woman, then you can conquer them. You know, because we're not concerned with nothing about, well, if it's only either in our backyard or our clothes, our shoes, our cars, you know, stuff like that, our purses and stuff, you know, and not really the bigger picture. And if you can keep them in an immature state, instead of man and woman, you turn into brother and sister. Instead of husband and wife, you turn into brother and sister. And surely that never works, you know what I'm saying? So intergalactical talk is a thought outside of the earth. It's a thought that take you beyond the earth, you know what I'm saying? Under the Iron Rock file, if you look at it like that, it makes sense, you know, because how is black brother's life synchronized, fucked up? Like, how do he go to a job interview Not knowing his brother just had his pants on the other day because they cost $700, but he had a pocket full of weed. And this nigga go to the job interview and he dig out, get in his pocket to get a damn dude his card and the weed fall out, and it's like, wow, and this is the synchronized shit that niggas go through, but when they sleep, they just feel it. They don't know how to express it. So it's called depression, which leads to alcoholism or the need to satisfy immediate gratification. That's why brothers are always trying to go get some ass or trying to go to the strip club or trying to get some money because they got the need to feed immediate gratification due for the lack of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So they dehydrated like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? They can't understand what it means to have a correct wife. I ain't saying, brothers out there, she bogus, but I'm talking about a correct one, the one that's trying. If you got kids bound, try to make a family. What is it about the brother that we feel comfortable? Like, fuck that, I ain't trying to take them kids to school, so it's better to leave their ass with their mama and not deal with her. So I can wake up, scratch my balls, and go to the club later on in the night. Now, it's cool when you're young, but when you're 30, 40 years old, it's kind of like, okay. But I understand, brothers, because there's no necessary images to fight that enemy. You can't go to Tyler Perry. Ain't no Swiss Alps Mountains with the motherfucking X3. That ain't no reality, but that's what they show you, and you feel like if you ain't on that shit, you ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? So where do you go in between just being a humble man that ain't got that much bread but got enough to take care of your family? What image is that? House of Pain? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is that? Where's those images? You know what I'm saying? Of the middle-aged man who's trying to make it or making it and doing this thing. You have no images. You either Sahu, you either Mason. You know what I'm saying? And Mason ain't done do nothing but get money, go to the strip club. Sahu ain't trying to do nothing but get a name for himself, kill, murder, steal type shit. You know what I'm saying? But there's no other images. You the house nigga with the Tyler Perry under the Tyler Perry Act. You know how he show black people. And we know that ain't going on. So the question is, the man had no necessary images to sit his ass at home and be a father to his kids. He don't know where to go at a certain age. You know what I'm saying? So we revert back to 17. The female, come on, man, the same situation. You know what I'm saying? You still in the club with your kids. It's got to be more to life than going to the club on Friday and working all motherfucking week. Come on now, that shit should make you tired. But when people can do this type of stuff repeatedly, Joe, with you on just the same shit over and over, that means they lack wisdom. And wisdom is that thin line that carries you on from today to tomorrow. So me and Blau, a day is like 100 years. I mean, shit get old real quick. Imagine that. And that's because of wisdom. You know what I'm saying? I can sit here and think of the thought of a motherfucker telling me what he gonna do on the phone, and through my pineal chakra and my imagination so supreme, I already done it. So it's like doing it twice, and I can't do it twice. You know what I'm saying? He's like, Joe, you still want to go? I'm like, no, it's cool. I done it already. That's just a problem I got. But you know what? I say bread, time, and energy. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of thoughts, the way I do it, I started off, I mummified myself. I wanted to check my thoughts. So I sat in one spot. Unless I had to move, I didn't move. So I preserved energy. I laid back, I tossed my arms like a mummy. And y'all should try this and lay there and just ignore all the motherfucking thoughts. And not really ignore them, but observe them. Ignore them because you ain't moving. And you will see that if you actually acted on half the damn thoughts that's not yours, but the thoughts that went past in your head, if you just sat back, you'd have saved $150, $200. Just think about that. Just actually sitting back, and I'm talking about unless you had to go pick somebody up, piss or something, like you eat or something, just lay there. Don't do nothing. And do that for a week and imagine how much money you're going to save. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much after that, you breathe while you're doing that. You breathe in, count to 10, breathe out, count to 10. That's how you start. Breathe in, count to 10, breathe out. And when you do the gutmo breathing or the fire breathing, as they call it, or the breath of life, you know what I'm saying? What happened is you exhale into all them thoughts. And them thoughts is actually a vibratory wave that they're sending through the elf towers. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is half the damn thoughts you're thinking ain't even yours. That's what you're going to realize. So you're like, well, what is my original thought? Only when you become one or in conscious do you have an original thought. You don't have an original thought until you woke. When you sleep, all them thoughts are generated from an external source because you don't even know who the fuck you is, so how can you have a thought? Anybody got any questions? Remember, this might not make no sense, but this is just random thoughts. I'm showing you the inside of my mind. I'm just giving you a glimpse under the Godspeed Nation lick. You know what I'm saying? So just try not to think too deep about it, but if you do catch something, catch it. You know what I'm saying? And I do a lot of freestyling, which means is it's hard for me to write because my hands start shaking, and the reason my hands shaking because the ancestors, instead of getting in line, waiting their turn to speak or put forth what's under my hand, which is Tahati and a feather of Ra under the pen act, my hands shaking because they just rushing, they bum rushing me things they want me to say to y'all. Like I'm gonna just start kicking, just saying things, and you can see do it resurrect. Like some of y'all have relationship issues, and in that situation you don't know what to do. But if you don't really focus on the relationship and focus on you, then you will rise above the relationship, and that person next to you that you think you in love with or connected, feel in love with, them emotions will leave because you're not the same person. So the memory leave and you don't have that connection, and you will leave. Or they gonna come around to where you at, because they who is least willing to compromise in any situation holds the most power. So therefore, women, don't let the nigga talk to your stomach. Listen with your mind. Don't listen with your gut. If he tell you he love you and he kissing on you, but something smell funny, that's pretty much what it is. Because now they have the under the intergalactical talk with the distortion, they have encoded through food, air, wind, whatever the hell they put the shit in, water, a way to tamper with our instincts. And our instincts is our quick reaction. Like the minute before you come from the ether to the reality, that's your instinct. What you gonna do? And they tamper with that. And when you tamper with the instincts, you throw us off. So a lot of times you don't trust your own instinct. You don't trust your own thoughts because they're tampering with your instinct. If they haven't tampered with your instinct, a female will just be able to look at a nigga and tell they lying. And she gonna believe that. It ain't gonna be no question. It ain't gonna be none what's coming out of his mouth and none of that. She already know because she know her instinct is correct. But now it's off because they tamper with it. And it be right sometime, but it be wrong most of the time. Unless you align yourself back up and become one. And then to become one for a female is you gotta have love, supreme love. Love will get you there. You know what I'm saying? Love will get you there. I ain't no father to teach me how to love my daughter. It was just the fact that I love her what taught me how to love, get me there to raise her right. You know what I'm saying? We created Godspeed Nation. We created information and lick. Me and Blau became the altars of a new day and a new light. And we spent half our fucking time in life trying to build with each other just to learn. The question is, what is the return? What is we getting? Not to say monetary wise, but where's we going? Why do we be who we be? That'd be the ultimate question. Why do we be who we be? For what reason? You know what I'm saying? What effect? Why do we teach? Are we teachers? Are we leaders? You know what I'm saying? We don't really know why we here like this. It's like an anonymity. You rarely hear brothers building. When brothers get in caught with me and Blau, it sound crazy to them, because we using English, but in the terms in which and fashion in which we use them, make sense but don't make sense. And it fucks them up. And it's like a hidden language, and you're not even talking no hidden language. You just using regular language, you know what I'm saying? But that's how the conversation sound when you're in the back seat. He like, damn, they usually fall asleep because their brain going overload and their nervous system begin to overheat and they shut down. And that's when I say they tamper with your instincts, that's the mechanism they use. If you ever notice when you brothers got knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and you trying to kick it amongst brothers and sisters or directly or with a one-on-one, that brother gonna fall asleep. Literally, like, start snoring on your ass. Or he gonna start blinking. When they start blinking, that means they call it total recall. That means whatever you saying before you're coming out your mouth is causing them to go back down through the time of their life. I mean, they almost waking up for a second. And a lot of times they get to blinking. Now, total recall is something me and Blob created. The fact that, like, if me talking right now, you would start to go through different areas of your life, and then there was unexplained chapters that started to make sense. That's what we call total recall. We bring you back to things that happened that was necessary for you to know that you just never brought it up. Never felt the need to bring it up. I mean, we got a whole language we call hieroglyphs. Because if Blau called me and I said, Joe, why you late? He say, Smith. That's it. He ain't got to say nothing else. You know what I'm saying? That basically tell me that you lay beyond powers of your control. You know what I'm saying? So I already know what that is. That means you fighting Smith. You mean you fighting that negative energy or that force that's out there. So it's not, we don't need to explain too much. Like when I say I was at the store and I seen Delilah. We all know Delilah, you know what I'm saying? The loud woman with the phone, you know, the phony hair, the shit talking and on the phone, just disrespectful, don't care who she talking around, you know, slouching around, shit like that. And he already know that type of essence. So I say, Joe, I seen 4 Delilahs, you know what I'm saying? He like, oh, I ain't trying to go. You know what I'm saying? Or Jezebel, that's the one that's extra sexy, materialistic, you know what I'm saying? Always out for money, and the nigga with the big cars, you know, the basketball wives. Or I might say Sahu, that's mean nigga go get your gun, cause we finna be around some not wild niggas. Or I might say Mason, you mean, you know, some cool niggas just like to sit back and get money, but they really ain't on shit. So, you know, these are terms we use to explain a whole ideology of a situation. So we ain't gotta really talk too much, you know what I'm saying? We can say a lot in 3 words. That's why a lot of times our shit can be short, you know. We done said a lot. And I ain't gonna keep this too long, but fuck it, I'm in rocking chair mode. So, like I'm saying, anybody got any more questions? You know, because my brain is infinite and it's hard to zero it in on a thought. You know, it's like you gotta give me a computer, or you gotta give me something to channel this energy through, which is a question, you know, or a direction. A question to me is a direction, because I can go all over the place with this, you know. So the Muslims say Quran, and all of a sudden he started calling me Quran. And he say Quran, you know what I'm saying? When the people said, when the Pharaoh said, Moses said, let my people go. What was he talking about? And I said, first of all, no, he said, when the real Pharaoh said, let my people go, or some shit, and you know, and I asked him he asked me what I asked him, well, first let me ask you, who was the real Pharaoh? And basically, what I'm saying is that, you know, I was riding past the Muslim, Islam, you know, and he was selling final calls on the corner, and his name was Stan. And he would always sell me a paper, and I would always buy it. So one day he tried to recruit me, and then trying to recruit me to be become a Islam, he wound up learning. Now you gotta imagine, I'm talking the way I'm talking. My hair braided, my eyes red as hell because I've been smoking. But I'm on my Wadim, you know what I'm saying? I'm kicking mad knowledge, and he's starting to know, like, you sound like the minister. You sound like Farrakhan. You sound like my minister, you know what I'm saying? And kind of fucked him up, you know, because he didn't really quite comprehend, you know, how can this nigga be high? And he talking to me. And I had to explain to him, so because he started telling me some shit about Bob Marley, and I was like, nah, brother, I smoke weed, not to get high, but I smoke weed so I can come down just so I can talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Let me say it again. I get high to come down so I can talk to you. If I wasn't this high, I wouldn't be able to sit here and talk this shit with you. You know what I'm saying? Because your mind, your brain is moving, clicking too slow. So I had to slow my shit down just so I can relate to you. Because if I say what I really want to say, it'll sound like this. Like this show I'm having. If I ain't high. But like I said, it's just random thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Watch out for the Dematurity Act. Watch out for the distortions. Know who you are. Don't never let nobody on the outside tell you who you are or project some bullshit or somebody you ain't. We're in the time of Aquarius, so coming out of the age of Pisces, you know, we not, karma is coming, it's like that, you know what I'm saying? It's judgment time, like they say. It's not like you gonna get away with some shit. This called exposure, you know, everybody gonna be exposed. And right now they pushing the agenda of the Neutrality Act, which is gonna be no more, you know, man, woman, child. It's just gonna be you, me, and he. That's it, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna break down that dynamic. So that's called like robots. They're gonna put everybody, gonna be more isolated within itself, you know what I'm saying? And you gotta understand, on God body, man, blah, the world, the people, it's like our suppression that we're around on a day-to-day basis. And what I mean by that is that they sleep. And it's kind of fucked up to know all this, and you're amongst people who dead motherfucking sleep. You know, it's like being in a room full of kids and to watch people thrive off their ego alone, you know, and their 5 senses alone. and not the ether, you know what I'm saying? Not the spirit or the soul, you know, none of that. They're just straight what the world told them they is, you know. It's kind of fucked up, you know what I'm saying? And very depressing to watch and listen to glimpses of the God come out of people, but you know they sleep. And man, motherfuckers just be like, Joe, what's knowledge about? And I'm trying to tell you that you need that to get by. You need that to see certain things if you don't want to wind up a random, you know, locked up, shot up, or whatever, you know. And we'll supply that to you. But these just random thoughts, man. Pardon me, no mind. You know, this ain't really a teaching class, but if you did get something out of it, thank you, you know what I'm saying? And I just wanted to give y'all a glimpse of what my mind look like. I see I have no questions, so that usually means it's all answers. And peace.